My name is Schuyler Jasienowski. I graduated from Bank Street in 2017. I would describe my career journey as a lot of turns down the same road. I went to a really supportive high school named Foreman. It was in Litchfield, Connecticut. To this day, they're a great school that helps out with learning disabilities. I have ADHD. When I got diagnosed, it was a really big problem for me in terms of social and academic focus. It yielded great results. When I went there, I had a lot of social interactions there, and I gained a lot of social confidence from that school. I gained a lot of academic confidence from that school. I attended Skidmore for the following 4 years from 2021 to 2025, which is where I also recently graduated from. So I graduated with a bachelor's in graphic design, but that wasn't really my first thought in terms of majors. I went into college thinking about being a personal trainer, psychology, physiology trainer. I've always had hoop dreams growing up, and I've been trying to play college ball for like all my 4 years there. Through like trials and tribulations, just through academics and also with politics in terms of the NCAA, I found myself really getting away from the personal training aspect and more towards graphic design because I've always been tailored into art in Bank Street, and most of the people in my class could tell you that I used to draw comics all the time in Bank Street. So through those last 2 years, it kind of that graphic design aspect and that art aspect pivoted back into fashion, and it kind of just led me after graduating to pursue modeling. I've been modeling for about a year plus now, coming up on 2 years. So far, I've walked in two different separate runways and trying to make a name for myself. I would say with fashion, it mainly started halfway through my junior year. One of my great best friends right now, Christopher Campos, he created this brand. I actually have the pin right here. This is the logo of the brand. Um, the brand is called Duende. He brought the idea to me and told me about it. It lit a really good spark in me in terms of just seeing him do what he wants to do, being kind of like, forget what anyone else says, block out all the noise and just go after what you want to believe in. Then around junior year, there was a giant shift and I just wanted to dress for myself. Around that time, and even in the summer after my junior year, I started modeling for his brand, which is like what I'm a part of right now. I'm the main model for his brand at Duende, and I'm also the casting director for it. It's just given me a lot of opportunity to kind of branch my understanding of fashion and kind of evolve from like not in a sense of just following trends, but just trying to do things that are innovative. Especially with Bank Street, that was such a pivotal moment in my life. I can recall so many good things that happened. One of the most influential parts that I carry with myself is definitely my kindness. I always see that when I walk in the door. I've seen that every single time I've visited, and they're just excited, especially when I go to the teachers that I used to be a student under who still work there. Their kids are excited to see an alumni, and they look up to me, and it brightens my heart to see that its creativity aspect is how innovative it can be. I enjoyed how much it allowed us to kind of like explore many different options and many different mediums at once, and it kind of gave us the tools to learn to be versatile within ourselves in whatever we want to do. Like if you ask me about what I do other than modeling, I would tell you that I also work two retail jobs. I'm a casting director, and I also have a self-made business where I also personal train people. And you would never know that, but because I've gained such skill from Bank Street to not only, I wouldn't even say multitask those types of things, but to be multifaceted in so many things. I can 100% give those flowers to Bank Street on that because they have taught me to be okay with exploring and learning that there isn't any limit on what we can do as people. One of my best friends through Bank Street, who I've always stayed close with, is Takashi Williams. I'm just happy to see what he's doing. And I've always known that he's loved journaling, and to see him flourish in that field, especially with the accolades he's gathered from Columbia. It's just beautiful to watch, and to see us go down our own paths of passion. It's beautiful and it's amazing. I had a few really good mentors. One of them is Ricky Ford or Leslie Ford. He used to be the gym teacher. He was the gym teacher for a while there. Just in the sports field, he was just a great advocate, especially as one black man to another. He was a great advocate. Another great man of color that I really looked up to was the upper head of school when I was graduating, Javade. Javade was also really nice. Me and Takashi were like, and Javade were kind of like, we're always like kikiing and like talking to each other about like the finals coming up and the NBA, and that's how we kind of just bonded with him. One of the coordinators for Kids of Color, this guy named Coy. Coy was really nice. He was really down to earth and was real with all of us and allowed us to really be vulnerable and just share our stories with everyone so we can get a deep understanding about where we come from. I can talk on and on about the trip to DC eighth grade year. I can talk about the trip to Philadelphia. Anytime I was with the team playing varsity basketball or JV, and definitely anytime I was in Kids of Color, those are definitely some of my favorite moments for sure. And Spirit Day, I can't forget about that because I led Spirit Day. So the musical was another part that I was scared at first and a little bit discouraged because we were doing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and it set my standards so high, but it also opened the door for myself to find joy in that musical still because I didn't get the role of Willy Wonka or Charlie, which is what I was trying to go for. And I was like, I was really discouraged of it. I didn't at the end, I'm not gonna lie, they had really good picks for it. They actually had someone in my class that was named Charlie. So it was fitting, it was fitting that Charlie got to play Charlie. But I got to play Augustus. It was just a cool moment, but like I really like dove into the character. They gave me like a leader hosen. I started making my own prop. I did it 4 times. Some people did it twice. I did it four because they only casted Augustus for the whole grade. I got a chance to just get better at doing that role, and I think by the last time, I definitely nailed it. I was making like the actual chocolate bar, the Willy Wonka chocolate bar, and I had it like stashed in my back pocket, thinking like I just want a snack for later or something. And just adding more aesthetic to the character, had a sense for detail a lot. So I feel like it was only a matter of time before I got into fashion. I think fashion has opened a lot of doors for me in terms of just networking as a Black American as well. It's led me to find a lot of creatives that have that same passion as me. I'm in two separate networking chats for Black creators and Black fashion creators alike, and it's been amazing. Definitely one of my best mentors that I've had is Jason C. Peters or Jason Christopher Peters, designer that I walked for in New York Fashion Week. And I was from a networking event and he told me about he was casting. I got in. And as we just kept on practicing, he ended up labeling me as the model captain for the show. And I was the one that led off the Fashion Week show for him. It was a really huge moment. It was definitely nerve wracking because I had self doubt at some points, thinking to myself, if I could do this, if it's something that I really could shine. As I was saying that, I was just looking over all the practices we went through, recastings, people that have come in for one day and I haven't seen them since, people that have stayed since July with me. He saw that in me and he allowed me to step into that role comfortably. And his show ended up being a really great success. It's beautiful when two different artists that have a similar goal can do something beautiful on canvas because it opens so much for like what you can do, like what you can do more of with more people, or even like with ideas. It just broadens your horizon. I would say a couple things. The first thing I would say is be okay with messing up. Be okay with setbacks. Be okay with things not going your way. Be okay with the frustration of it, because if you're frustrated about it, that means you're passionate about it. That means you're going to keep trying. That means that something beautiful is going to be coming from this. Another piece of advice I would give is that a lot can happen with 1 year of consistent work. A really big nod to that is what I did with modeling. I was able to walk 2 runway shows in 1 year, and I just started modeling, and I don't even have an agency. Most people would be getting runways once they're signed to agencies. And I was lucky enough to put myself out there and walk two without an agency, completely by myself as an entrepreneur. I guess the last thing I would say is don't be afraid to seek advice. Don't be afraid to be curious because, especially in a place like New York, if anyone who is in Bank Street is continuing to stay in New York, it is a city of opportunity and it is a city of multiple different angles with multiple different personalities. In the world of fashion, I've been able to find people, famous, non-famous, who have the same passion and just been able to connect with them. Don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to be curious and be yourself.